the other side of the Phantom Troupe, which is Nobunaga, Finks, and Phaeton, and they're dealing with the Shiu and Kara families, consulting what the hell they should be doing in regards to Heil-Ly. And taking all of that information that Nobunaga has deduced after his plenty of interactions and Heinrich's interactions and everything that they've dealt with in the last couple of chapters, Nobunaga correctly deduces that this Heil-Ly family that's on the Black Whale is no longer the Heil-Ly family that the Kara and Shiu mafias have been dealing with for the history of the Kaken Empire. Now, traditionally, as we've had not only these mafia members tell us, but also high-ranking members of the princes and even people like Kurapika and Chrollo correctly, deduce. Traditionally, all three of these Kaken mafia families follow a strict code. Not only are they very complicated in the ways that they handle things and they deal with the different struggles between families, different rival disputes or peons picking each other off in emotional outbursts, and it's always followed by offering apologies and payback for when these lesser peons act out. It's usually almost always according to the leader's plan because, again, it is in the Mafia family's best interest throughout this voyage to reduce the other three Mafia families' numbers as much as possible, so that way when they get to the Dark Continent, whatever new continent that the Kaken Empire establishes, they are the ones that are able to be on top, and they are the ones that will direct the other two families. So remember, even though they're working together, quote unquote, they are always looking to get one over on each other. The one thing that they would never do for sure, they may quarrel and they may fight each other. The Shiu and the Kara families both confirm that they would never go after innocent civilians for no reason. They are a part of the underground of the Kaken Empire, yes, but they uphold pillars of the political empire. They always ensure civilization runs smoothly, and if anything, they consider the civilians their customers, not useless pawns to kill. Which is the perfect reason why they are very much likely to believe Nobunaga when he says that they are definitely acting out of the bounds of a normal mafia family of the Kaken Empire. The three mafia families are usually pretty by the books. You've got Onyor Longbow, who's the head of the Shiu. He's the one with the frickin' onion head. He's an illegitimate brother of Nasubi Hugro-Ro, the current empire of the Kaken country. And his underboss is Heinrich. Heinrich is the character that uses the Nen ability that is able to turn inanimate objects into animals, and then he can control those animals. Heinrich, despite being someone that is opposed to the Troupe in secret and also deceived them already by sending Hisoka up to the upper layers so the Phantom Troupe couldn't find them, Heinrich is someone that is willing to get his hands dirty and even fought with Nobunaga in the Heil-Ly headquarters, so we like Heinrich. We don't really know too much from the Shiu family besides Zakuro and what's her name, the girl that died. She's dead, I don't even remember, she's not important anymore. But their benefactor is the third prince, Zhang-Lei, who not only refers to Onyor, the leader of the Shiu, as his true father. When they met up at the beginning of the Black Whale voyage, he asked Onyor to provide Zhang-Lei with specific information into how Nasubi Hugro-Ro won his succession war all these years ago. Onyor says it's going to take him some time to provide that information, but he does still say that Nasubi's philosophy was that all things come to those who wait, which is perfect for a prince like Zhang-Lei, who we know takes his time with literally everything so far, as we've seen in the Succession War. Other than that, we haven't interacted with Onyor much, but we have interacted with the underboss Heinrich of the Shiu a lot. You also have Brocco Lee, who looks like a head of frickin' broccoli. He's the head of the Kara mafia family. Again, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, and is another illegitimate brother of Nasubi. Now, we have Tajao, who is the vice boss of the Kara family, and also he's the military advisor to Prince Luzerus in general, who is Kara family's benefactor. We also have Kenny Wang, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, who is the underboss of the Kara, who's mostly been involved with trying to handle this Phantom Troupe Heil-Ly madness, and hopefully end up on the other side with both of those discrepancies taken care of and written off. Kenny Wang is the most interesting of these underbosses besides Heinrich, because while Heinrich is very open with his Nen ability, Kenny is clearly aware of Nen, but he hasn't revealed revealed that if he has some kind of ability or anything like that. Now, he does have this rumor that one of the military people mentioned that every person that he smiles at dies, and whether this has something to do with some kind of Hatsu or Nen ability, we really don't know until we find out more. Although he is quite suspicious, because not only is he plotting against the Phantom Troupe, he's also very aware that they are gaining on Morena very fast, and wonders if she'll pull her trump card out to fight them, her Joker, he says. Now, is he someone that's a double agent? I doubt it. He gets very upset when they mention that they might kill the Kara family boss, but either way, Brocco Lee isn't as involved as his underlings either. They're both of those illegitimate brothers are kind of in the background. And the only other thing that's really interesting about the Kara family is Tajao and Kenny have a secret passage that apparently all Mafia families are having access to that lets them go from tier 5 to tier 1 at whatever tier they want to on the boat freely, which is nice. It's interesting because at the end of this chapter, we do see Nobunaga, Finks, and Phaeton follow the Kara family into a door. Now, could it be the passage into higher tiers? Sure, it could be, because they're going directly to tier 1 to try and assassinate Morena, or wherever she's hiding now. Also, Nobunaga finds a door with Kenny that's a secret locked door that Kenny says he'll only reveal to them once their mission is completed of taking out the Heil-Ly. Now, the Phantom Troupe members are very confused when Tajao opens the door for them. Is it the passage to the higher tiers? Is it some Mafia family trump card room? Are they betraying the Phantom Troupe right here and now after giving them that information? I really don't know, but it really could go either way, and I'm really interested to see how this whole Mafia plot goes. Now, the Heil-Ly, since being taken over by Morena Prudo, has acted completely out of turn, as we mentioned before. Not only are they just disrupting the balance that the three families have fought to secure for decades at this point in the Kaken Empire. Again, they mentioned before, killing other Mafia members is a crime in and of itself, but this can usually almost always be smoothed over. It's where they're slaughtering the innocent civilians in mass where they're like, okay, these guys are getting a little crazy, conspiring against the prosperity of the Kaken Empire, which is very clear, and why the Shiu and Kara are more than happy to support the Phantom Troupe and taking down the Heil-Ly completely now, especially if they are not the actual quote-unquote Heil-Ly family they once were. Nobunaga is right to think that the Heil-Ly family has just completely changed their MO, because they literally have. They've set their sights far beyond mere Mafia war. We know that Morena is planning to destroy absolutely everything, kill everyone on the Black Whale, and sink it entirely, metaphorically, figuratively, and literally. And it's part of the reason why they're also able to deduce why they're killing all of these civilians and why they're so gung-ho to do it. Because Nobunaga is, again, right. Morena's one simple goal is by spreading chaos throughout the lower decks that will eventually raise to the top tiers with her Contagion Hatsu, the Nen ability that is able to spread through all of her different Heil-Ly soldiers, basically just gather copious amounts of strong Nen abilities and users just by slaughtering all the innocent people that they already plan to kill anyway, right? Killing Mafia members, other Nen users, all of these innocent people on the lower tiers that no one's gonna miss anyway. It's all easy and fits right into their plan, so why not benefit from it, which is exactly what Phaeton says. As her followers kill people, they gain quote-unquote levels as if it's a video game. They gain 1 level for killing an innocent person. I think they gave 5 or 10 levels and something like that in order for killing a Nen user, and they also gain 50 users if they somehow manage to kill a Kaken Prince, which makes me think that somehow, some way, that chaos will make its way up to tier 1 in Instant Succession War, whether people like Hisoka, the Phantom Troupe, and the Mafia family act like they want to be involved in the Succession Wars fan of flames or not. Now, when a Contagion holder reaches the level of 20, they are more than able to develop their own personal Nen ability, although their Nen category is determined at birth. That's why if you're a manipulator, you're a manipulator. If you're a emitter, you're an emitter. You can't change that, but you can at least personalize your Nen ability to some degree, although it's not perfect. Once you reach level 50, you continually gain more and more power, and you get more stronger until you hit level 10, and then you can become a patient zero and spread that Nen to other people and become a Contagion master of your own. Again, Phaeton and Finks are able to immediately catch on to all of this, which shows one is how smart the Phantom Troupe really is. It even makes Kenny Wang more sure that he needs to get rid of the Phantom Troupe as fast as possible, because the fact that they're able to correctly figure out all of the Heil-Ly's evil plans shows that not only are they evil masterminds themselves, that they are capable capable of doing just as crazy things to the balance of the Kaken Empire if they were the threat. It just assures Kenny that, damn, you guys are fucking crazy, which I don't disagree. I do not disagree with them on that. But again, it's super cool that Nobunaga was able to deduce all of this just from one mere interaction with the Heil-Ly family in their headquarters. Because if you remember, they had to deal with that old man, and I'm gonna mispronounce his name, Gatame. I don't know. He's some insurance scammer. No one cares about him anyway. Some old dude. He had that conjuration ability where he was able to create a double, and he was working with another Heil-Ly family member named Vacante, who was the one that created that teleport door. So by creating this booby-trapped room, every person that would walk into the door or get called or lured into the door by Gatame's double would just get brought to the quote-unquote Heil-Ly processing room, where there was literally just a group of fully empowered Contagion users that just slaughtered everyone that came by instantly. And it was honestly a great way for all of them to quote-unquote grind. It's crazy how it's literally like a video game. In no time at all, Nobunaga was able to be confident enough to completely deduce Gatame and Vokante's abilities were two separate entire things instead of what Phaeton and Finks think is maybe like a specialist ability or some kind of conjuration ability that's creating a separate room on top of the previous room. He's able to take advantage of all of this information and break into the Heil-Ly headquarters and the quote-unquote processing room with Heinrich with no fear at all, and honestly put up a pretty decent fight against them if they, one, weren't completely outnumbered or thrown out of the room by such hacks and abilities like Yokotani's LSDF. That one interaction was more than enough for the Troupe to get all the evidence they needed to take the Heil-Ly family seriously and get the Kara and Shiu families completely off their backs in regards to following any kind of Mafia etiquette. Morena Prudo, ever since showing up, has just been a complete wild card for the entire flow of the underground process. Despite being the Mafia's criminal underbelly, as I mentioned before, like, they do try to support the Empire from the shadows. That's why all of the Mafia leaders have an illegitimate sibling of the Kaken Emperor leading the Mafia family to lead from the shadows. You also have the benefactors that are the princes on the light side. It's literally, we are the light, you are the dark side. They are the leaders in the light, and they are the leaders from the shadow that make sure everything flows. But it's ultimately why, overall, the Shiu and Kara family are more than happy to have the Heil-Ly and Phantom Troupe take each other out. Again, they are just disruptors of that status quo. The Phantom Troupe prove themselves to be just as big of a threat as the Heil-Ly, even though they are lesser in number, but they are just as much of a threat. And the Heil-Ly family threaten everything that the Shiu and Kara family have worked to build. So if they can have each other take each other out, they're more than happy to do that. That's why they were very quick to have Hisoka go right to tier 1. It's why they were very quick to cooperate with the Phantom Troupe and get them on their sides. It's also why the Shiu and Kara family, despite being opposing forces and always looking to stab each other in the back as soon as they can, are willing to work on this one specific moment, because they can just get both of the pains in their sides removed at the same time. Two birds with one stone. Why wouldn't they? That's the best way they can play it. A lot of people are very confident none of the Troupe members are going to die, but a lot of people are worried some might. Knowing that Shizuku's fortune exists, also knowing that Nobunaga and Heinrich were thrown out of the headquarters so quickly by the outnumbering amount of people the Heil-Ly has at their side with insane Nen abilities, who knows how many people could die before Hisoka even gets a chance to fight the Phantom Troupe. And considering they're split into two different groups, one side could deal with Hisoka, the other Morena. And this is nothing like York New and the different Mafia members of York New. Morena Prudo has been built up way too much to not give the Phantom Troupe a hard time.